Cindy Cloward with Riley Blake Designs, and I'm so excited to talk about our last block in the Meet the Makers quilt. This is the alternating block, and it's featured throughout the quilt 25 times. And you can see how beautiful it is. We use 5 different colors, and we also have this beautiful navy and peacock colored Irish chain, so it makes the pattern throughout the quilt, that Irish chain, which we just love. So we didn't want to scare you away by showing this block at the very beginning, so we're showing it at the end, but we're showing lots of tips of how easy it is to assemble. So here's the block, and this block we're working with grass green, and we've got our Riley white, our peacock, and our navy. But we also use daffodil, green smoothie, Riley lilac, and petunia and rouge. So those are all the colors that are in the alternating blocks. So we mentioned previously in block number 2 about strip piecing. And I just didn't demonstrate it, but I referred to it. You can strip piece these blocks, and it would speed up the time to create this block. This you really want to strip piece if you can. So you got 1 3/4 strips, the width of your fabric, and we're going to work on this center block. And how you do that is you're going to take each strip. Sometimes I trim them, sometimes I don't. And you're going to take this to the sewing machine and sew 1 long strip. You're going to bring it back, iron it. It's not crucial which direction you iron this. I'll use this right here. And you're going to cut your strips. And they're 1 3/4. Now, since this is the center block, you're going to need to make 25 center pieces. So you can see the center here. Make 25 of those, right sides together. Sew along there. They're already nestled because you flip them. And there's your center block. Now the next thing you're going to strip piece is this block right here. This one and that one. So I'm going to show you how I've assembled this. So you've got your rectangle pieces on the side. Now you're going to strip piece the top and bottom piece like this. So you've got your center block that you've cut. So here, that's that unit. And now when you strip piece this, you've got your rectangle with your 1 3/4 and a big long strip. And you're just going to cut your measurements. A lot of times you got to trim it up. And if it gets off, it gets a little ski-wampus, you can trim it. That was a far bigger trim than I meant to do. Now you only need 2 of these per block. So you're going to need 50, right? Doing the math. And the last strip piecing you're going to do, well, actually you have 2 more. You need to cut your strips of white with your strips of peacock. And you need to cut your strips of navy with your strips of white. and you sew each of those together. And then it comes out like this. You press it. Give it a good press the entire length. And if you line these up, you could cut them at the same time, as long as they're even. Or just put them on top of each other. That's even better. Just get them right on. Again, all the math is done for you if you bought the Riley Blake kit, so it's in here. Otherwise, you're going to have to figure out the math by all this assembly. But by watching the videos and adding it all up, because I don't know it off the top of my head. Okay, so we're going to assemble our corner blocks, our little 4 patches. They've already been pressed. They're perfectly nestled just like that. So we're going to make 2 4 patches of the peacock and white, and then 2 of the 4 patches of the navy and white, just like that. So along there, there's our 4 patches. So we're almost there for this block. Now we need to do our flying geese. Again, this entire quilt is squares and rectangles and half square triangles and flying geese. That's it. So if you get good at all these, you can make this quilt. So we have our 5.5 by 3 inch block of flying geese. We're going to make our flying geese. And again, this flying geese is white and it has the green background. So again, we're going to lay these all out, draw our lines across. That is our sewing line, corner to corner, flip back, well, trim, iron, flip back, add our other flying geese, sew corner to corner, flip back, and we've got 4 of them, and this is how it's assembled. So again, to review, we've got our center 4 patch. We sew these sides. Our 2 strip pieced sides are this one and this one goes on like that. Then we do our flying geese units side to side, so the center unit is finished. Then we go to these, the flying geese and the 4 patch, sew that on, it's ready to go, that on, ready to go. We just add that block to this block and we're almost finished. I do want to make sure, like we mentioned before, that you're pressing your seams the correct direction, so as we're assembling all these blocks, they'll nestle nicely. Now these are pressed outwards, so make sure your seams are pressed out, out, and out. Because our previous blocks, these are pressed in, this is pressed out. This doesn't matter because nothing lines up. That one doesn't matter because it doesn't line up. But the outside, that's important to press in. So all your alternating blocks look just beautiful. And as you're assembling this quilt, let's talk quickly about the assembly of this quilt. You do the top row, seam all these along. You do the 2nd row, 3rd row, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And then you assemble all the rows together. It's really that easy. There's no sashing, there's no borders. So once you got all the quilt blocks done, sewn together, it is ready to be taken to your long arm quilter, or if you're going to hand quilt it yourself, be so proud of what you've accomplished. If this is your first quilt, solid quilt, isn't it a beautiful one? So we're so glad you joined us in this sew along, and we hope you'll join us on the next one.